Most people think flying is simple. You book a ticket, sit down, and wait to land. But the truth is, airlines don't explain how things really work. Behind the scenes, there are rules and systems that quietly affect your seat, your money, your comfort, and even your rights. And most passengers lose out simply because they don't know them. In this video, I'm sharing 25 flight secrets airlines won't warn you about, the kind that pilots, crew, and frequent travelers already understand. Once you know these, you'll fly calmer, avoid common mistakes, and handle delays and problems with confidence. And make sure you stick with me until number 5, because that one alone will change the way you fly every single trip. And watch until the end, because one of these secrets can literally put cash back in your pocket on your next trip. Number 25. Ghost flights. Sometimes airlines fly planes with very few passengers on board. These are known as ghost flights, and while it may seem like a waste of fuel and money, there is a practical reason behind it. Busy airports tightly control takeoff and landing times, called airport slots, and airlines must use these slots regularly to keep them. If a slot is not used often enough, the airport can take it away and give it to another airline. Because these slots are extremely valuable and can be worth millions in future revenue, airlines may choose to operate an almost empty flight rather than lose their access. So when you see a half-empty plane, it's not about the passengers, it's about protecting long-term flying rights. Number 24. Hidden crew beds. On long flights, pilots and flight attendants can't stay fully alert for 12 to 15 hours without rest. That's why many airplanes have hidden sleeping areas built into them. These rest spaces are usually placed above the passenger cabin or below the floor, so travelers never see them. Inside, there are small beds or reclining seats where crew members take turns resting during the flight. While passengers watch movies or sleep in their seats, the crew is rotating brakes to stay sharp. These hidden areas exist for one simple reason: to make sure the pilots and crew are alert and focused when it matters most, especially during takeoff and landing. Number 23. Death on board. This topic is uncomfortable but important to know. If a passenger dies during a flight, they are not officially declared dead while the plane is still in the air. Flight attendants and pilots are trained to help in emergencies, but they are not doctors. They can give CPR, use medical equipment, and ask if a doctor is on board, but they cannot make a legal decision. The official declaration only happens after the plane lands and medical staff arrive. This is not a secret or wrongdoing, it is simply how international flight rules work. These steps help keep the flight calm and organized during a very serious situation. Number 22. Overbooking payoffs. Airlines often sell more tickets than there are seats on the plane. They do this because they expect some passengers not to show up, and most of the time that plan works. But when everyone arrives, someone has to give up their seat. This is where many passengers lose money without realizing it. When airlines ask for volunteers, the first offer is usually the lowest. If you wait, the compensation often goes up because the airline needs seats quickly. Another important detail many people still don't understand in 2025 is the difference between cash and vouchers. A voucher usually comes with limits and expiration dates, while cash is real compensation you can use anywhere. If you're forced off a flight, you may be entitled to cash, not just travel credit, but only if you know to ask. Number 21. Dirty tray tables. That tray table in front of you looks harmless, but it's actually one of the most touched and least cleaned parts of the entire airplane. Every flight, dozens of passengers use it to eat, rest their hands, place phones, tablets, and even lean their heads on it. Because planes often turn around quickly between flights, there usually isn't enough time for a deep cleaning. In many cases, tray tables are only wiped once a day, and sometimes not at all if the schedule is tight. Meanwhile, bathrooms, which people assume are dirtier, are often cleaned more regularly. This makes tray tables a hidden problem most passengers never think about. The good news is, the solution is simple: Carry a small pack of personal disinfecting wipes. Before you eat or place anything on the tray, give it a quick wipe. It takes seconds and can help prevent you from picking up unwanted germs during your trip. Number 20. Pilots' meals. Most passengers assume pilots pick their meals based on taste, just like everyone else on board. But there's a quiet safety rule behind what they eat. During a flight, pilots are not allowed to eat the same food. This rule exists for one simple reason: safety. If both pilots ate the same meal and that food caused illness, they could become sick at the same time. That would put the flight at risk. To prevent this, airlines make sure each pilot eats a different meal, and sometimes the food even comes from different kitchens. This system reduces the chance that both pilots could be affected by the same problem. The idea is simple. At least one pilot must always be healthy and able to fly the plane. It may sound like a small detail, but it's a smart rule with a big impact on passenger safety. Number 19. Unpaid boarding time. Many passengers don't realize that flight attendants are often not paid while boarding is happening. On many airlines, their pay officially starts only after the aircraft doors are closed and the plane begins moving. That means all the time spent helping passengers find seats, lift bags, answer questions, and manage a crowded cabin can be unpaid work. This is one reason crews feel pressure to board quickly and keep things moving. It's not about being rude or impatient, it's about time and working conditions. Understanding this helps explain why crew members may push for bags to be stowed fast or ask passengers to sit down promptly. When boarding goes smoothly, it benefits everyone, including the crew who are already working before the clock even starts. Number 18. Seat safety spots. When choosing a seat, most passengers focus on comfort or how fast they can get off the plane, but safety works a little differently. Being close to an exit often matters more than whether you're sitting in economy or business class. In an emergency, the speed at which you can leave the aircraft is a key factor. Studies of past accidents have shown that passengers seated closer to exits generally evacuate faster. Some research also suggests that seats toward the rear of the plane can have slightly better survival rates in certain situations, but this is not a rule and depends on many factors. Every incident is different. What matters most is awareness, knowing where the nearest exits are and moving quickly if needed. Seat choice won't guarantee safety, but it can influence how prepared you are in an emergency. Number 17. Crew emergency training. Many passengers think flight attendants are mainly there to serve food and drinks. In reality, their most important job is safety. Before ever working on a flight, attendants go through weeks of intense emergency training. They learn how to perform CPR, use defibrillators, put out fires on board, and even help deliver a baby if needed. They also practice emergency evacuations in dark, smoky cabins, so they can guide passengers during real emergencies. Part of their training also focuses on handling aggressive or unsafe passengers to keep everyone protected. Serving meals is only a small part of what they do. Their real responsibility is to keep passengers safe no matter what happens, even at 35,000 feet in the air. Number 16. Rolling delays. When a flight is delayed, airlines rarely give the full delay time right away. Instead, they update delays in short steps, often saying just 30 more minutes. This isn't always because they don't know. It's because smaller updates keep passengers nearby and easier to manage. If travelers hear a long delay all at once, many leave the gate area, rush to customer service, or demand rebooking. Short updates help airlines keep passengers seated, calm, and ready in case the situation changes. That's why delay times often keep extending little by little. Understanding this helps you make better decisions. If a delay keeps getting pushed back, it may be a sign to check the aircraft's location or ask about rebooking options instead of waiting at the gate the entire time. Number 15. Auto rebooking. When you have a short connection, airline systems don't always wait to see what actually happens. In some cases, the system predicts that you will miss your next flight based on delays, walking distance, or past data. When that prediction happens, your seat can be reassigned automatically to another passenger before you even reach the gate. This is done to avoid empty seats and keep flights on schedule, but it can catch travelers off guard. You might arrive at the gate on time only to be told your seat is gone. That's why speaking up early matters. If your first flight is delayed and you're worried about the connection, contact a gate agent or airline staff as soon as possible. Letting them know you're still moving through the airport can sometimes stop the system from giving away your seat. Number 14. Credits versus cash. When a flight is canceled, airlines often offer travel credits instead of refunds, and many passengers accept them without asking questions. The problem is that credits usually come with rules. They often expire within a year, can't always be transferred, and may have restrictions on how they're used. In some cases, service fees are deducted when you book again, reducing their value. What many travelers still don't realize is that refunds are often available, especially for cancellations made by the airline. In those situations, you may be legally entitled to get your money back to your original form of payment. The airline may not mention this option unless you ask. Knowing when to request cash instead of credits helps you keep control of your money instead of locking it inside the airline system. Number 13. Boarding illusion. Boarding groups can feel confusing or unfair, but they are mainly designed for airline efficiency, not passenger comfort. The goal is to load the plane in a way that reduces aisle congestion, manages overhead bin space, and keeps departure times on track. That's why passengers with specific seats, needs, or ticket types board in certain orders. Standing up early or crowding the gate rarely helps because your group number doesn't change. In fact, it often slows things down and creates stress for everyone. Airlines expect passengers to board only when their group is called, which keeps the process more predictable for crew and ground staff. Understanding this makes boarding less frustrating. Waiting calmly until your group is announced usually leads to the same result, just with less hassle and wasted energy. Number 12. Recycled cabin air. The air inside an airplane cabin may feel fresh, but it isn't constantly replaced with new air from outside. Instead, most aircraft use HEPA filtration systems that clean and recirculate cabin air. These filters are very effective and can remove the vast majority of airborne particles, including dust and many germs. However, filtration does not mean the air is brand new. It is reused to improve fuel efficiency and maintain cabin pressure at high altitude. This is why personal hygiene still matters while flying. Washing hands, using sanitizers, and wiping shared surfaces help reduce the spread of germs in a closed environment. The air system does its job, but passengers also play a role in keeping the cabin healthier, especially on long or fully booked flights. Number 11. Safety lighting. The lighting inside an airplane cabin isn't just there to create a relaxing mood. It plays a safety role, especially during takeoff and landing. Dimming the lights helps your eyes adjust to lower light levels outside the aircraft. If an emergency happens, your vision is already prepared to see clearly. This makes it easier to spot exits, fire, smoke, or debris. Lighting settings are also part of evacuation readiness. Crew members need to see clearly inside and outside the plane to guide passengers safely. Even though the lights may feel unnecessary or uncomfortable at times, they are carefully planned as part of the aircraft's safety procedures. What looks like a small detail is actually designed to help everyone react faster if something goes wrong. Number 10. Short oxygen masks. When oxygen masks drop from the ceiling, many passengers assume they will last for a long time. In reality, these masks are designed to provide oxygen for a short period, usually around 12 to 15 minutes. This is intentional. The masks are meant to keep you conscious while the pilots quickly descend the aircraft to a safer altitude, where normal breathing is possible. The aircraft does not stay at cruising height once pressure is lost. That rapid descent happens within minutes. This is why using the mask immediately is critical. Even a short delay can cause dizziness or confusion due to lack of oxygen. The system is built for quick response, not comfort, and it works when passengers follow instructions without hesitation. Number 9. Autopilot myths. Autopilot is often misunderstood as a system that flies the entire plane on its own. In reality, it is a tool that assists pilots, mainly during the cruising phase of a flight. Pilots still program, monitor, and manage the system at all times. During critical moments, such as takeoff, landing, and certain weather conditions, pilots usually take manual control. Their training focuses heavily on handling these phases without automation. Autopilot reduces workload, but it does not make decisions on its own. Pilots are trained to step in instantly if something changes. This balance between technology and human skill is what keeps flights safe. Autopilot supports pilots, but the responsibility and final control always remain with them. Number 8. Turbulence injuries. Most injuries caused by turbulence happen when passengers are not wearing their seatbelts. Clear air turbulence can occur without warning, even when the seatbelt sign is off. The plane may suddenly drop or shake, throwing unbelted passengers out of their seats. This is why crews advise keeping your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated, even during calm parts of the flight. Wearing the belt loosely but securely can greatly reduce the risk of injury. The advice isn't meant to restrict comfort, but to protect passengers from sudden movement. Turbulence is unpredictable, and the seatbelt is the simplest and most effective safety tool available while flying. Number 7. Plane water tanks. Water used on airplanes does not come from sealed bottles by default. It is loaded into onboard tanks at airports, and those tanks supply water for sinks and hot drinks. The important detail is that maintenance schedules for these systems can vary by aircraft and airline. Some planes are cleaned and serviced more frequently than others, depending on routes and turnaround time. Because of this variation, the quality of onboard water isn't always consistent. That's why many frequent flyers and even crew members prefer bottled water when it's available. Choosing bottled water reduces uncertainty and avoids relying on a system you can't see. If you bring an empty bottle through security and fill it at a filtered station before boarding, you stay hydrated without worrying about how recently the aircraft's water system was serviced. Number 6. Altitude alcohol. Drinking alcohol on a plane can feel different than drinking on the ground, and there's a reason for that. At cruising altitude, cabin pressure is lower than at sea level, which can make alcohol feel stronger. Your body also dehydrates faster in the dry cabin air, and alcohol increases that effect. This combination can lead to quicker fatigue, headaches, or discomfort, even after just 1 or 2 drinks. Many passengers don't realize this and assume their normal limits still apply. Moderation improves comfort, especially on longer flights. Drinking water between alcoholic beverages helps reduce dehydration and makes the flight easier on your body. Enjoying a drink isn't unsafe, but understanding how altitude changes its impact helps you avoid feeling unwell once you land. Number 5. Dirty cabin floors. Airplane cabins are usually cleaned quickly between flights, and that often means spot cleaning rather than a full deep clean. Trash is removed, visible messes are handled, and seats are checked, but the carpeted floors rarely receive thorough cleaning every time. Over multiple flights, spills, dirt, and moisture can build up in the carpet fibers. Walking barefoot or only in socks increases the risk of picking up germs or skin infections. This doesn't mean cabins are unsafe, but it does mean small habits matter. Wearing shoes or lightweight travel slippers when walking around the cabin is a simple way to stay comfortable and protected. It's an easy precaution that reduces unnecessary contact with high-use surfaces during your flight. Number 4. Shrinking seats. Many passengers feel like airplane seats are getting smaller, and that's because, over time, they often have. To increase revenue, airlines have added more seats per row on certain aircraft and reduced seat width or spacing slightly. These changes are usually small enough to avoid attention, but over long flights, they can affect comfort. Not every airline follows the same approach, which is why the experience can feel very different depending on who you fly with. Some carriers prioritize density, while others maintain more generous layouts. Understanding this helps set expectations and plan better. Checking seat maps before booking, choosing airlines known for comfort, or selecting seats strategically can make a noticeable difference in how comfortable your flight feels. Number 3. Offline boarding passes. Many travelers rely fully on mobile boarding passes, but few realize they don't always update when your phone loses internet access. Gate changes, seat changes, or boarding time updates may not refresh if airport Wi-Fi is weak or your data signal drops. This can leave you walking to the wrong gate or missing important announcements without realizing it. Airlines usually assume passengers are connected, but busy airports often overload networks. A simple fix is to take a screenshot of your boarding pass and gate details once you arrive at the airport. Even better, download the pass directly into your phone's wallet app, which updates more reliably. This small step gives you a backup when technology fails and helps you stay informed even when your phone goes offline at the worst possible moment. Number 2, last-minute seats. Seat maps don't always show the full picture when you first check in. Airlines often hold back certain seats until close to departure, especially aisle, window, or preferred locations. These seats may open up after upgrades clear, crew assignments finalize, or no-shows are confirmed. Many passengers never check again and assume nothing will change. In reality, better seats sometimes appear minutes or hours before boarding, and they can be switched at no extra cost. Checking the airline app again after check-in and even just before boarding can lead to a more comfortable seat without paying extra. It's a simple habit that takes seconds, but can improve your flight experience, especially on long or crowded routes. Number 1, return baggage rules. Many travelers assume baggage rules are the same for their entire trip, but that's not always true. Your outbound flight allowance may be different from your return flight, especially when flying international routes with partner airlines. Weight limits, size rules, and enforcement can vary by region and carrier. Some airports are much stricter about weighing bags, while others are more relaxed. This is why passengers are sometimes charged fees only on the return journey. Checking baggage rules for every leg of your trip, not just the first one, helps avoid surprises. Weighing your bag before returning to the airport and leaving room for souvenirs can save money and stress at check-in. And there you have it. 25 flight secrets airlines don't usually explain, from how seats and bags are really handled to why delays are announced the way they are, and when you're entitled to cash instead of credits. You now know what's actually happening behind the scenes when you fly. So tell me, which one surprised you the most? Have you experienced any of these on your own trips? Share your story in the comments. It could help another traveler. And if this video gave you even one tip you didn't know, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more clear, honest travel guidance that helps you fly smarter every time.